Welcome to another instructional video for GEOREKA software. Today we'll talk a bit about editing of existing surfaces, typically for vein-like structures, but maybe also for some grade shells. So we'll start off with showing you how you can directly edit planar structures like a vein. So in this example, what I'm showing here is a vein-like structure where we've created a selection of data points to create a hanging wall on a football point. We're showing here. This is a typical example of what customers have asked us in the past. When we have some overlap, like in this little area here, you see some cross-cutting from the hanging wall side to the football side. And how to get rid of them, how to improve this vein-like structure this way. So what we can do in GEOREKA is to actually directly manipulate a surface, basically by modifying one of the two surfaces here. And that's what we'll demonstrate in this little part here. So we'll select the top surface in this case, and we can constrain the maximum amount of movement. But also an important parameter is to set the maximum radius of influence. So it determines the number of neighboring points from the points where you're selecting to change. So in this case, we're trying to select a single point on a surface. It's highlighted by the red point here. Then you can start to move it in the direction of the thickening of the vein, basically. So in this case, we've exaggerated the maximum amount of movement just to show what it does to 50 meters. I'll just cancel this one now. And we'll do the same again, so we'll take the same surface, but this time we'll actually constrain the movement to be a maximum of 1 meter. So we'll leave this same radius of influence to be a maximum of 100 meters around the selected point. And then we drag the point away, and you can see here, even if I try to move further, it doesn't move any further than 1 meter. So now it's clipped to 1 meter. And we can create a copy of this surface, so we can start using that one while still retaining the old. So you can see how that change has affected the resulting surface. So we don't see any cross-cutting anymore. So I'll just change the color quickly for better contrast. So you can see what the old surface was and now the new surface. So you see that overall it's still the same, except for the area where we've made the adjustment. In the next section, we'll use a slightly different approach, which is typically used for grade shells. So what we'll do is we show some grade data, some assay data, and some grade shell that was created, or maybe it's been sent to you. And what we could do is say, we want to make a local change to this grade shell. You could try to use a similar technique that we've just shown, but it's a bit more complicated when you want to use it for grade shells. So in most circumstances, what we do is we use a different technique by first creating contour lines from the original grade shell. So for this, we look in the direction, probably along the strike direction of the grade shell, and we create the shell contours, and we need to specify maximum distance for each contour line. So in this case, we set it to every 10 meters and set it in the particular direction. So in this case, along the y-axis, along the northing. And you can see that it's produced a number of contour lines along the grade shell. The advantage of the contour lines is that we can actually edit them directly in GEOREKA, especially since they're all in one of the axis directions. We can press the edit button, and then we can scroll through various strings in this polyline object to determine which one we want to edit. So we can edit multiple contour lines if we want to. This way, in this case, I think we'll start off with one. So in this case, you select the line that you want to edit, and as soon as you start to hover over it, you can actually start moving the points on the section plane. So automatically the section plane is aligned with the contour line, which makes it quite easy. So you can just drag, or you can actually enter new points this way quite quickly. When you're happy with your editing, you can go on to the next one. Just press OK to save the current one. So now we can go to the next. So we can just check what we've done, if that's correctly updated. So you can choose what you want to do. Maybe add a new point there, maybe make some small adjustments a little bit, just to make the slightly smoother transition from the newly edited lines. And now we made our edits, we can actually start recreating the grade shell from those contour lines. So typically what we would do is actually use a implicit surface from points. So get that sorted here. Yeah, so an important step here, so we'll just give it a name. Yeah, shall be done. Yep. But the important part is to increase the accuracy a little bit, and also the relative range. This will actually close the resulting surface on the end apex. And the other important part is to use the organized points option, because the polylines, they have orientation information embedded into them about the inside and outside. And if we use that information, we can then see that the surface has been updated. It's largely the same as the previous one. Might be some smoothing slightly different, but you can see that locally the surface is updated to reflect that polyline. Sometimes if you don't have enough contour lines there, you might actually need to add an extra step to actually snap to points as well, just to make the surface go through those points a bit more neatly. Otherwise the implicit surface might sometimes cut corners a little bit. Alright, this brings us to option number 3, offsetting an entire surface to another point set. So rather than actually editing the surface directly, what you can also do is, and this is particularly for planar surfaces, like in your vein modeling, you can actually take one surface and offset it to another set of points. So it's more like morphing the surface to a new point set. And typically what you can do is, if you have a surface through like your starting point, like your hanging wall points, and you want to offset it to your footwall points or vice versa, you could do it this way. So what we call is snap to surface to points, and we give it the initial surface and the new point set to snap to, and that's all there is to it basically. And you can see, scroll away from me there, even in the section view, that the new surface that way will not intersect the other surface, and you've got some nicely offset footwall point, or footwall surface or angle surface. Alright, that brings us to the end of this little tutorial. Hope you find it useful. See you next time. Bye now.